What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto Blitz, your home for your crypto fix. I'm your host, Ripple Van Winkle. Hopefully, everyone's having an amazing day, folks. It's Friday, May 16th. It's a payday Friday, my favorite type of Friday out there. And the weekend is here. The Knicks are on tonight, trying to close this series out. I'll tell you right now, if the Knicks don't close the series out tonight in New York, they're done. They will lose. They were up a commanding 3-1. They got it. They got to close it. They got to do it. They got to do it at home. They have to handle business. I knew they weren't going to win the game in Boston. They didn't get any foul calls. I've never seen Jalen Brunson foul out of a game. Here we are. Anyways, tonight, 8 o'clock ESPN, I'll be watching. But in this episode, we got a lot to go over. The key facts, the key points we are talking about. Three things here. Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. We're going to break it down, what it actually means, what is going on, what did Judge Torres just rule. We're going to talk about the Federal Reserve and the Bank for International Settlements because they just announced a pretty big partnership. And then we're going to talk about Ripple's new partner. That's right, over in Colombia, which is a pretty big deal. So without further ado, sit back, relax. Let's jump into it. Bitcoin, $103,745. It's flipped over into the green, up 1.42%. Ethereum coming in at 2,627. It's currently up 2.72%. We are seeing USDT coming in at its dollar peg as USDC's chilling at 99 cents and XRP's bouncing back like the champ it is. It is currently in the red, 1.81%, but still flashing green over the weekly, coming in at $2.43. Remember, folks, Bitcoin's road to 200K, it is currently underway. The bulls are holding the 100,000 psychological line oh so fine as the total cryptocurrency market cap comes in at $3.27 trillion. And if you're looking to become a member of the channel, you get to go ad-free, and starting on Monday, you'll be getting a one TA chart, one of my TA charts from the Patreon group coming over to the YouTube. That's right. For all the members, it's $4.99 a month. You never have to deal with another Google ad. Plus, you get exclusive posts to the XRP TA charts that are coming out. We do 5 TA charts every Monday over in the Patreon group. And we'll be dropping one of those beautiful charts on XRP every single Monday for our YouTube members. What do you think about that? Look, thank you to everyone who has become a member of the channel. Much appreciated, much love. Then we get this Federal Reserve Bank of New York and the Bank for International Settlements are testing smart contracts to explore tokenized monetary policies. Very interesting here. No, Ripple not involved here, but it's very relevant to Ripple's broader mission and ecosystem and could possibly be connected indirectly depending on how things develop here. So what's happening? Simple. The Fed Reserve Bank of New York, the BIS, Bank for International Settlements, they're starting to experiment with smart contracts and to test out tokenized monetary policies. This means they're looking for a way to automate how money is managed, potentially in real time using blockchain-based tokens. So Ripple's relevance. Ripple and XRP can come into a few different ways here, potentially, right? Ripple's worked with central banks, Bhutan, Palau, on central bank digital currencies, plus I believe about a dozen more. Ripple's XRP ledger is smart contract capable, especially with the upcoming hooks in the AMM features. Interoperability and tokenizations are Ripple's bread and butter. Let's not forget that. If these institutions want cross-border functionality or liquidity, RippleNet and on-demand liquidity are strong candidates. So why isn't Ripple name mentioned in this test? Well, it's simple. Smart contracts, tokenization, it's not quite there just yet, but it's getting there. But this trend is heading straight into Ripple's lane. So if smart contracts and tokenized money became mainstream for central banks, Ripple's tech, and XRP's liquidity model become extremely valuable here. But what it does remind me of is, how about JP Morgan doing the test for tokenized treasuries using Chainlink and Ondo? Interesting, right? I still believe Chainlink is the sleeper of this bull cycle, and Ondo is going to be the sleeper of 2029's bull cycle. And Coinbase put a shout out a $20 million bounty. You gotta listen to this. This is absolutely crazy what is going on. Pretty much, people are going after Coinbase and they've tapped into employees on the inside who's giving up information. Listen up.
Hey everyone, I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. Now, we like to do things transparently here at Coinbase, and so I'm going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying no. We are not going to pay your ransom. In fact, I have a few next steps in mind that I'm going to share at the end of this video. But for the rest of you watching, wondering what happened, we did an investigation here, and these attackers have been approaching our overseas customer support agents, looking for a weak link, someone who would accept a bribe in exchange for sharing some customer information with them. Now, our support tools have limited access to customer information. There was no passwords or private keys or funds accessed as part of this. But customer support agents do have access to...
I'm sure you already heard most of it. We don't need to play it, but for those that didn't want to give you a little clips of what's going on. Absolutely, it's insane, folks. It's freaking crazy what's going on. You can't make it up. I'm not a Coinbase user, but I'm sure this would be affecting me if I was a Coinbase user. They booted me for life. I don't know why. That's the $1 million question, but no one seems to know, wants to give me answers. There we are. Today, aka yesterday, Ripple partners with WIA and Merck Corp to launch XRP Ledger pilot, helping Colombian farmers access credit through blockchain-powered agricultural traceability. That's a lot right there. What is this? That's what everyone's asking me. I probably received about 30 DMs saying, Rip, what does this even mean? I get it. I get it. So what is this going to do? This is going to empower farmers using blockchain tech, which is super cool. So in Colombia, there's a ton of small holder farmer that operate informally, right? They lack credit histories and transaction records. So the absence of these financial documents, it hinders their ability to access credit and achieve sustainable incomes. So this pilot program addresses these challenges by implementing a blockchain-powered traceability system that records every stage of the agricultural process, from planting to harvesting, and it's all done on the XRP ledger. Each product is assigned a QR code, offering verifiable data and ensuring transparency in the supply chain. Pretty freaking big here. So we're looking at about 300 smallholder farmers are participating in the pilot. They're producing over 240 tons of panela, pretty much AKAs, it's a sugar, monthly. Notable, around 46% of participating farmers are women compared to the national average of 26%. Pretty interesting what's going on here. So what does it actually do? Well, it pretty much is going to represent a significant step forward, demonstrating real-world applications of blockchain technology in agriculture. So by improving traceability, facilitating access to financial services, and promoting sustainability. I can't speak this morning. I apologize. Haven't had my coffee yet. The program has the potential to serve as a model for the agricultural communities worldwide. Pretty interesting. But let's jump over and we'll cover the price and the charts in the next video for lack of time here. Let's talk about the lawsuit and what's going on. So Ripple versus SEC. Should we be worried? Let's start there. No, there's nothing changes here. Okay, nothing changes at all. Pretty much both parties, Ripple and the SEC, they both filed a joint motion for an indicative ruling from Judge Torres. This is typically done when a case is on appeal, but both parties want the trial judge to signal how she would rule on a certain issue if the case was sent back to her. So pretty much Ripple and the SEC is like, hey, if we sent this case back to you, you want to give us a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and just let us know how you would rule on it so we should know if we send it back to you. What Judge Torres said, and I quote, if jurisdictions were restored to this court, so they brought the lawsuit back to Judge Torres from the appellate, that the court would deny the party's motion as procedurally improper. What does that mean? One, Torres doesn't have her jurisdiction. B, if she did have jurisdiction, she did get the case back, she would deny the motion because it was not filed properly. So Judge Torres isn't making a ruling on the substance of the request. She's just saying the way it was filed doesn't follow proper legal procedure. This is just a little bit of a speed bump, not a major change in the case's path forward and to finally get this thing wrapped up and signed off. The case remains in the hands of the appellate court, and Ripple and the SEC may need to try a different approach if they want the district court to weigh in again. That's it. Nothing major, a small little speed bump. The lawsuit will be done and over and officially signed off. I mean, both parties have agreed at this point to the same exact thing. So it's nothing to worry about, folks. Don't sweat it. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to see everyone on the next video. Hey, make sure you hit that like and follow. Become a member of the Ripple Van Winkle fan club. It's just $4.99 a month. Go ad free and get some cool, smooth TA in YouTube every single week.